questions and start finding people that can help you identify that answer. So I think what's maybe different than when I was in college 10, 12 years ago, you need to know, even more so now. The jobs are very specific, and if you don't know, there's going to be 10 other people who do that have been kind of tunnel vision towards that for the last 10 years. So not to scare anybody, but I think this field where I've seen it, it's really becoming more specific and more tailored. So trying to sell yourself as somebody who can fit into that and be unique is really important. All right. We got like 10 minutes left. You can ask me any questions you want. So from internship programs to to the field experience to college sport, professional sport, etc. And we can't sit in silence for 10 minutes. So think about something. Emily.
What are specific things that you look at when you're looking at the applications for grad school?
Yeah, so I think when I get in it, luckily we have quite a few applications, which a lot of times that's not the case. When I look, one, you meet the minimum requirements. So for grad school here, you have to have at least a 2.75 average GPA. Okay, if you don't meet that criteria, it doesn't mean you can't get into the program, but you're accepted in what's called academic probation. So trying to strive above a 2.75. So if I determine that you meet the basic guidelines, then what makes you unique? Why are you different from the 12 other people that want to go into marketing? Or why are you different from the 7 other event managers? Yeah?
Let's say you don't have the grades, how do you act, like after you graduate, how would you like raise them up?
Yeah, so I think for me, I also look at, for me, I struggled my freshman and sophomore year, so I'm not going to penalize somebody for having a rough go the first couple years of college. I think it's about how have you improved. And so a lot of times in the personal statement, and that's why grad programs will ask for a personal statement, what hardships have you faced? What have you, how have you worked towards becoming a really well-rounded, qualified candidate? And kind of telling your story. So in a grad application, it gives you the opportunity to kind of tell your personal story more so than undergrad, where it's more, are you in-state or out-of-state? What's your SAT score? So I would say crafting what your story is and telling why you're a good candidate and how you've overcome challenges, that would be a really strong application. Yeah.
Could you elaborate a little more on the recreation side?
Yeah, definitely. So, and I think where we have, so within HPERC, Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Coaching, it's kind of a mouthful, right? And what we're working on, we're working on kind of streamlining that. But how I see it, well, I guess we'll go over here. So health, let's say human performance and recreation. Okay, so within these three, you're able to work, and this is all the non-teacher side, right? So you don't necessarily want to work as a public school teacher. So on the health side, you might work in health promotion. That could be in the context of a hospital, a community center, like a clinic or a rehab facility. So typically, I tie this more to the clinical side, these two, and these more to the business side, business or sport. Within recreation, I think there's a lot of options. So you have everything from a YMCA, which is more what we would call like a nonprofit. So nonprofit, you're not trying to make money. Very different from professional sports. And so that's kind of when I said over here, the farther you go to the business side, the more it becomes more about money, sort of, right? So professional, the primary purpose of professional sports is one, to have a product on the field. And I think that's a lot different. You're not looking at products on the field at the YMCA. You're looking at more what is the experience and the educational value, and how are you providing more like experience for kids. So youth sport. And you might also see like people who are using recreation to help from a health and wellness standpoint, and it's not really tied to competition at all. So I think a lot of times when you put the word sport in here, sometimes you enter more of a competition idea. If you're more about the health and wellness side and the promotion side, that's just another area to consider. The human performance side, so here you might have things like cardiac rehab, coach strength and conditioning coaching, and even though we don't really prepare exactly for this, the athletic training or PT side kind of goes here. The college sport kind of in the middle. And what people don't always recognize is college sport is a non-profit. College sports don't exist to make money, but that's kind of the issue in the media right now, right? Is it's becoming more this way than it is this way. So maybe, are there more questions about this? I don't know if I'm answering your question.
No, that's good.
That's good. I think too, if you're interested more in the recreation, health, and wellness side of this, Dr. Edney has spent her whole career in that field as well. So talking with her about the different options there would be great. If you think about more of the environmental side or the outdoors side, that can fall under there as well. Yeah.
What kind of careers is the grad program specifically at Whitewater? What is that kind of directed towards? 'Cause
Yeah.
Isn't it technically like administration?
Yeah, why don't we pull that up? So, so even if you're just on the UWW website, MSCPD, Masters in Science and Education, Professional Development. So in our College of Education, these are all the different areas of grad school. Art education, alternative, these are more teacher-based if you want to work in the schools. Down here, health, physical education and recreation, health, PE and coaching, athletic administration, and higher ed leadership. So I do these two. Dr. Whitty does these two. So we'll start here. Okay, so if you look at this, you can see the words athletic administration. So if you're somebody that wants to work in more of an overseeing area, okay, so maybe you're starting as an event manager, you're starting in marketing, you're starting in compliance, you're starting in student services area, but you want to work to be a director of something. Whether that's a rec sport director, whether that's an athletic director, etc. So if you go to possible careers here, you can kind of see the different areas. So intercollegiate athletics leadership, marketing, external marketing, fundraising, development, event management, business finance, compliance, diversity and inclusion, student athlete development, academic support advising, coaching. So that's kind of what this speaks to. And these are statistics on like what is the outlook for getting a job. You can kind of see here Division III has the most institutions, so the most jobs exist at Division III. Second, Division I, third, Division II. If you're looking at, and then here you can also kind of see contact an advisor, that goes to me. So you can just come to my office. The other aspect of this, how to apply there. So typically when you apply to grad school, you apply to the graduate school and you apply to the program. So this is basically how you apply to graduate school. You do the online application and the fee. And then all that supplemental stuff, your resume, your letters of interest, and your letters of recommendation, in this case it would go to me. Kind of on the other side of this, health, human performance, and recreation. So Dr. Whitty is in charge of this. This is a great website just for you to look around in. HHP, our emphasis is designed to enhance knowledge, abilities, and qualifications of professionals in health, human performance, and recreation. Basically what that means is more on this side of the house. So health, human performance, and recreation is everything kind of from here over, more of a clinical based setting, working more in the scientific side of the house. If you're more interested in the business administration side of things, you wanna look at the athletic admin program. And that's just what we offer here at Whitewater. What you could look at kind of nationally are what our sport management programs at the grad level like. Sport administration, athletic administration, sport management, those all kind of mean the same thing. Some people just call it different. Exercise and sports science is kind of the same as health and human performance. So you might see that used as language too. Other questions? We got, maybe 30 seconds. All right. Well, thanks, guys. If you have questions, I'm